Anyway, welcome back, everybody. We've got a crazy game coming up. We've got a fight.
Wow.
A fight and they're winning in for the top 8 of Calling Birmingham.
And
it's none other.
Who's the fight against?
Well,
I
was going to say the 5 player is none other than our own boy, George Rogers. UK national champion on their winning in to get into the top 8 of this tournament. But they're up against a hero that I would say Fi quite likes to see. What hero is that? Hamish.
Begins with a D, ends with an I. Stromae.
It's Stromae.
Oh yeah. So right now, it's looking pretty comfortable. I think there's been a couple of games where we've said, you know, this is a comfortable spot to be in. And we've seen some upsets.
Yeah, upsets can always happen, especially at this level of the tournament. Like they're going to have thought about what they're going to do to play into this fight matchup. It is tricky for Dramai. Those dragons are very easy to kill as Fight player has Mask of Momentum. Can get those card draws. We're going to have a little look at Fight, what cards to watch out for.
You're a ninja boy.
Well, we got the main cards really. Like Lava Burst is going to be pushing a lot of damage. But, the relevant cards, I think Mask of Momentum is really what's going to have the biggest effect in this matchup. Being able to secure mask draws by attacking into dragons is very big for Fi, and being able to get that damage rolling.
Warmongers Diplomacy on a card to watch. Okay.
Yeah, it fits into Fi quite well, and I wouldn't say it's like it's useful in certain matchups. Your blues in Fi, you have a bit of flexibility with them, and I think a 0 cost for 3, especially if you're playing Kadachi Fi. Is really, really nice. If you're playing the Ember Blade, you probably want to go for a blue Draconic card instead. Salt the Wound, of course, can have potential to push huge amounts of damage. When you're going very wide, hitting with Kadachis, hitting with Phoenix Flames, that's going to do a lot of damage.
And it's really good that actually was kind of a nice bit turnaround is that George won the UK Nationals last year with a Kadachi Fi, and here he is again, back in the Calling with his boy Fi, and I believe potentially he's bringing Kadachis again.
Well, George made the 2nd place of the first ever UK Nationals playing Bravo, lost to Matt Fox in the final, but then came back the next year with this Fi deck, Kadachi Fi deck, and tore up the field. Came
and
first.
He actually defeated Bravo.
Yeah, I know. Kadachi Fi is an interesting one. I'm a big fan of the deck myself. I play it a lot. But people kind of been like, well, is Fi good enough in this meta? Can Fi beat Lexi? That's the real question people are asking. But we're going to have a little look at Dramai now. We've had Dramai on stream before. And again, these cards are going to be relevant. The Dramai player, it depends what kind of build they're running. If they're running a very aggressive one, they are going to try and beat down that Fi.
Yeah,
right?
the Empress Dramai, or the one that communities dubbed as Empress Dramai, the one that Mara Faris took to the Pro Tour and came to the semi-finals, it's the best shot against something as aggressive as Fi, because you're just throwing damage and you're not giving them all this dragons for Fi to just, as we call it, lawnmower up for the mask trigger to keep firing.
But the other thing that can really shift this matchup is if Dramai is able to get an early Tumultai into play. We talked about the importance of Tumultai in the Azalea matchup. It's even bigger in this one. If Dramai is able to get that Tumultai down and eat that Mask of Momentum, that could really shift the balance of this match.
Yeah, it's huge. There's just like so much damage just get thrown away like that. You know, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and you can try to fatigue ninjas out. It's very difficult to fatigue Fi out with the being able to play the Phoenix Flame that's just going to keep coming back and forth from the grave. It's possible this Dramai player may have some tech for Fi and Katsu, but I'm not sure that people were expecting to see that much Fi and Katsu. Like I said, I thought there would be a few Katsu. There has been quite a few in the UK. And we have some Katsus doing very well in this day too. Katsu, again, a very tough matchup for Dramai, and there was a lot of Dramai at this tournament as well. It's going to be a tough one, but I said that about the Azalea matchup, and what happened? The Azalea won it.
Yeah, it was definitely, you know, these games can happen. And Fi, I think it's only 10 Fi in the Calling tournament as well. So for one to get this high, the conversion, if he makes it through, that conversion rate is crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be a matchup of the Draconic heroes, the Dragon, the Dramai with her dragons, and Fi with his Phoenix Flames.
The rebellion rises up.
Yeah, really an uprising matchup. The uprising, was that the one?
Uprising matchup. You just said it.
Questioned myself for a second there, yeah.
It was really an uprising matchup.
Yeah.
Literally. This is going to be really exciting. It's actually really cool as well to actually just get the final game of the Calling, and it's with the current UK national champion.
Indeed, getting George Rogers on. You know, we wouldn't have done it if he wasn't doing his winning in. So he's put the work in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Managed to get to a point where it does have this winning in, and I'm really looking forward to see it play. It is I agree with people in the chat. It probably is Drummoy's worst matchup.
It
Katsu
is.
is pretty bad.
Yeah.
But as you've seen, I probably would have said that Drummoy was Azalea's worst matchup, and Azalea managed to take that down.
Here we go. We're here. George Rogers on fight. Joel Renson. Joel Renson.
I don't know how to pronounce it, but I am loving that orange bucket hat. I was a big fan of that one.
I tell you know what's really funny actually at the start of this. Are we saying, we really want to try and grab guys with the coolest hat? That's what I just said.
That's our single criteria, yeah.
Yeah, it's and he actually had a really cool hat on the Friday, and here he is.
Good
with
hats.
a different hat, by the way.
It just shows if you're going to a tournament, a Fab TCG tournament any time, and you want to get on stream, just wear a really fantastic hat.
Yeah, it works. People dig a good hat. We know this.
It just works, Amos.
It just works. We love digging the push the point hat. The famous, coveted push the point hat.
What can we say? People seem to be fan of our push the point polo shirts as well. So
do they like it?
I've heard people want to buy them.
No, they don't.
They're probably just high on the tournament buzz, and they will change their minds very quickly about that.
They're
afterwards.
very tired.
It's been a long day. This is our last round of Swiss, Hamish. I don't know about you, but I feel like it has flown by.
It has flown by. It's been 7 rounds on day 1, 5 rounds day 2. I want more. And I hope everyone in the chat has been really enjoying our company as casters through this. This is an amazing opportunity we've had as us as Push the Point guys to bring everyone through this calling, and I hope we've entertained everyone. We've loved it. I've genuinely loved it. It's not up to us whether we feel like this is great or not, but I have enjoyed every moment of this.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and huge thanks to everyone that's joined us in the chat and has been chatting along with us and commenting along as we go. It's a big one, guys. This is the difference between getting into the top 8 or not. There's a big difference in prizes. If you miss out on that top 8, we're talking gold 4 legendaries, PTIs, and obviously money, and of course getting into top 8, getting the chance of winning the whole thing, being able to be crowned the first ever UK calling champion.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's something that George would love, and I'm sure that's something that Joel would love too.
Absolutely. Now, we're just shuffling up here. I'm curious. I don't think they've decided who's going up first yet. They've obviously selected their equipment has been selected.
So just to give you a little bit of an update, we have 3 10 and 1s at the moment, 10, 9 and 2s.
Okay, so there was an actual thing that Ian Zhang posted up on Twitter saying that if there was someone who was completely undefeated to 12-0, there would have been one player who would have been 10-2 that would have just missed the top cup. So that's gone now. That's gone.
That is now off the table. It is if you can finish this tournament with an X2, you're getting into the top 8.
Wow.
Or if you can finish the Swiss rounds with an X2, you're getting into the top 8.
Oh, but for Yolman just to go, this is my winning in, and my winning in is a 5. That's pretty rough.
Well, George has already managed to take down another Drummoy on the way here after Jamie Faulkner lost against Azalea on stream, got matched up into George Rogers on fire, and George managed to take that down. So it does have some experience playing into Drummoy. Remains to be seen what kind of Drummoy we're going to see here. Like we were saying, could be controlling like we saw from Jamie Faulkner, or it could be a more Empress Drummoy, more red line, more aggressive. I'm really interested to find that out, and we're probably going to see that. We're going to get an indication from that from the very start of this game.
Absolutely. So both players just shuffling up. Now they're just giving their other players shuffling up. I tell you what to say. I absolutely love the Tumultite artwork, and I have these on the sleeves as well. It's my favorite dragon. It's one of my favorite pieces of artwork in the whole game.
I remember when they announced the artwork or released the artwork for the 3 big dragons, and it was something new we hadn't seen in the game. Well, we've always had fantastic art in the game of Flesh and Blood, but this was something. Sure was something seeing these amazing dragons come into the game, and God, everyone loves dragons, right?
Oh yeah. And we got a James White interview coming out very soon, and there's been a wonderful question around actually a little bit around about Dromai that he talks about, and I don't want to give too much away, but dragons is the whole thought and the thing about dragons for LSS is a very important thing. But you can check out the whole thing on the interview that's going to be coming out.
That's right. We have an interview with James White coming out tonight live on Push the Point at 7 p.m. So do check out that. Hit us up on Push the Point to see the full interview with James White. And There's some
big
reveals.
there's some really good stuff here. But just wanted to just let everyone know. Oh, hang on a minute. We have got a new Dusk Till Dawn headpiece, the Ward 2. If a ward breaks, you can pitch one and draw a card. George is looking at that going,
pitch one and make a ponder.
Is it pitch one, make a ponder?
Yeah, so that is going to be relevant because we do have the Wave of Reality up, and that's going to be a way for Dromai to make a little bit of additional
and
ash.
And you get to pitch and make dash, yeah.
Diadem of Dream State.
Yeah, wow.
I'm assuming it's Furnace in the chess piece because it nearly always is. It'd be good if we could see the boots because it's just a little bit... or maybe it's Furnace,
Master.
yeah.
And it's Furnace with Mage Master boots as well. Okay. I think it's like...
Mage Master boots. So
yeah, this is interesting, actually, because you know how we're using the Seekers to pitch and make an ash on the... This is kind of effectively doing the same sort of thing, isn't it?
So that's what's probably we're going to see this here, where that could actually is going to hit. The Wave of Reality is going to pop the ward. That's going to make a Spectral Shield. And then I was going to be able to pitch to create a Ponder token using Diadem, if they wish to do so.
Yeah.
And that's going to create some ash, which is what Dromai wants. Dromai wants to build up a some ash to be able to do what they want to do.
I really love it. I love this. I love this little play. It's still kind of doing what that Seekers is doing, right? That's really cool. I like that. And then it could actually then come from one, which again, the shield is just going to take that out, no problem. It doesn't have wards. That's something to note as well. But I can't really remember if the headpiece is it once per turn.
I can't remember. It's a new card.
It's a new card. Even George picking it up, going, what's this? What are we doing?
George being incredibly awkward here, going to attack for 4 times.
Oh, my days.
It's going to kill that headpiece off because that headpiece itself also has ward.
What an awkward card. This is literally what Fires is so good at. He's just coming in, just doing that small little bits of chip damage, and it's just so annoying. So with Ward destroyed, you may pay 1 resource. If you do, create a Ponder token, Ward 2. So it doesn't appear to be there's actually a once per turn.
Seems to be the case.
So this can just keep going. So he can do it again if if his own.
But he doesn't want to keep pitching. It's a once per turn effect.
It is
he doesn't want to keep pitching too many cards because George has still got 2 cards in hand, and you don't want to give up all your cards and then take a big chunk of damage on turn 1. He's going to come in for 2 because of Tiger Stripe Shuko, so this damage actually can't be prevented.
Yeah.
So actually that means the Diadem is actually
he needs to block.
Will be deleted because it will attempt to prevent the damage, will fail to do so, but will still get destroyed.
Wow,
so Shuko's second block.
Shuko's second text that probably a lot of people didn't think about.
And George probably going to do a Enlightened Strike to draw a card here, probably to reset the arsenal.
Yeah, just drawing a card. I have to say, I'm really happy that we've got a Ninja Pro here. And I tell you what, in this last round, I'm going to give it my spot. I'm going to bring
really
in another
good
Ninja Pro.
Block there from Dromai because it's a flicker trick.
Oh, wow.
Which is going to perfectly block that Enlightened Strike for 5. 1 card block for 5, guys. That's what illusionists get.
That is
sucks for the rest of us.
That was clutch. Anyway, I'm going to give up my spot. I'm going to bring in Simon because there is an alpha draft coming up. And
it's been a pleasure, Hamish.
It's been a pleasure. So it's
open
been
some spice, and we'll see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
So George is going to draw up here. A really interesting card. A really interesting hand for George. I believe he seems to have double Art of War and a blue and an attack action to banish. So we might see something massive here. But I wonder if he's going to not go full in on this and maybe save it out, maybe get one of those Art of Wars into the arsenal. You can tell he's having a think. Look, guys, when the 5-player is having a think, you know they've got something crazy in hand because they don't have to think otherwise.
I think the
Trust
problem
me,
is...
as a 5-player, I can say that.
A double Art of War hand is... it can be very hit or miss. Fi deck is obviously made with some really good attack actions in there. Banishing 1 to draw 2 more, and then banishing 1 of those to draw 2 more. You're going to have +2 on your attacks.
We're seeing the Dromai player come here, playing out the Burn Them All, and then a Dragon. George got a really interesting hand. If the Dromai player pushes a bit of damage here, it's actually going to be quite difficult for George to do any prevention. He's probably not going to want to anyway.
I don't see him blocking any of this.
Yeah. It does look like the Dromai player missed the Ponder token that they made when they pitched a resource on the previous turn, but it looks like they've missed that opportunity now. But they are going to come in with a CNC for 6, classic play. George is probably just going to eat this and let the card and arsenal go to the bin.
Oh, it's
was
a
Warmonger's
Warmongers.
Diplomacy.
It's not a bad card to lose for Fi, I think.
It could be worse, especially if George does go for this big Art of War turn. It wouldn't
Yeah.
have been that impactful to play out anyway. It's not like it would have been some damage. And I mean, realistically, I don't think George could actually.
So he has the
block.
other Warmongers in hand,
Yeah.
and I see that being pitched to play the Art of War.
I can see a 1 of Art of War here. I'm just seeing what the draws are from
Exactly.
the banished 1 to draw 2. But we are starting with some Kodachis, of course.
We're probably going to see the Art of War played in the reaction phase of... well, no, actually, you can't do that, because you'll have played your attack action then. So
Yep.
We may see one of these arsenaled, though, I think.
And Joel needs to be really careful here because he does have a dragon up, and George can use that to try and secure a mask trigger, which, if he is on an Art of War turn, is going to be super impactful.
But also, Dromai has to be careful of ward here. Any damage and any equipment that might have ward is going to be a bit of a pain, isn't it?
Well, it means that they're going to waste a 2 ward of the diadem on just a single Kodachi for 1. But they maybe want to cash that in because the Shiko is going to eat up all of their ward anyway. Yeah, we see it here, using the ward to prevent the 1 Kodachi, then pitching the red to make an Ash and also make a Ponder token. And George eating through the Dromai player's equipment block pretty quickly here. I guess with its ward, you don't really have much choice. Another Kodachi going to come through for 1. This one is going to hit. And George decides to play out the attack. Not going to use the Art of Wars yet. Probably going to aim for a big 5-card hand turn.
I think that sounds sensible.
I think that makes a lot of sense to me too.
Having 2 Art of Wars in one hand and trying to make the most of just the 1 attack action banish is really tricky.
Yeah, and he's drawn into a really decent hand here with a Rise and some other cards that are going to do some work. It really depends on what kind of pressure Joel is able to put on this turn. I believe he attacked into the dragon, by the way, with the attack action to just kill that Asvalai.
There's another Asvalai coming out. And the arcane damage of Burn Them All and Asvalai together is not to be trifled with.
I just think this is risky because I think George is seeing that dragon going down and saying thank you very
He's
much.
happy. That's my mask trigger.
That's another link on my chain of 3 to get my mask momentum trigger. Plays the sigil. That suggests that Joel is playing a more defensive Dromai, not going for the super aggressive one. That's the kind of read we've had so far by the way they've been playing, but that's kind of a confirmation there. Of course, sigil is actually a pretty good card in Dromai because it is a red card that you can play at instant speed, which means you can turn on the go again of all of your dragons.
Yeah.
We're just going to see the
Banishing
banish
for
trigger
the Burn
from
Them All.
And George is going to have a pretty huge turn here because
Ponder
he's
triggers.
also on his tunic counter to 1, so he can play
Correct.
that Art of War for free.
I think that's going to be key on this turn. You're not having to use the other Art of War to pitch for it, or an attack action to pitch for it. So this is going to be big.
Going to start with the Art of War face up. Going to have to choose which card to banish. Got some good options. Probably will be the 0 for 3, the Rising Resentment there.
And I think he's probably hoping he draws a blue here just to pay for the turn.
I mean, currently he's
We
doing
have
pretty
a
good
Spreading
without
Flames, I think.
He's now got 2 Rise.
And a Rise.
No, he already had the Rise.
Rise from the Ashes, which is a fantastic card. Gets your Phoenix Flame back from a graveyard, and also gives your next Draconic attack +3. Ninja attack +3.
Ninja or
Draconic.
Draconic, because you can use it on the Phoenix Flame. Setting up a pretty impressive turn here.
That's Blaze Headlong for 8. With Go again, because we played the Rise from the Ashes. I mean, that's a nice little play to start the turn off, isn't it?
I think this is going
Still
to be
4 cards in hand.
pretty tough for Joel to block out. George is just going to try and make sure that he can get that mask trigger this turn, because that's going to really increase the effectiveness of the +1 from the Art of War. If he's able to draw into either a card to maybe pitch some Kodachis or another red card that's going to get the buff of Art of War, it's going to really increase the amount of damage he's able to do.
I don't think he's actually got a 0 cost to pitch for Kodachis apart from the Phoenix Flame at the moment.
Yeah, he really just wants to get into more attacks, more attack actions that are going to get that buff from Art of War. And we do see the Spreading Flames pitching the second Art of War, which I quite like. You've got a good enough deal going on here at the moment. This is going to come in for 4. And again, a really difficult breakpoint for Joel to block to try and prevent a mask draw this turn. If he lets this hit, George can just attack into the dragon with any attack and get a draw off it, but he might just choose to go face because he does have the Art of War up.
So I think we have a Phoenix Flame and a Mounting Anger left in hand. If this hits and he goes for the Phoenix Flame into with Oasis, it's a good, nice extra Ash. No life gain because he's not on lower health. I think George is still happy with his current position. He may be slightly lower on health.
This Phoenix is going to get a buff from the Spreading Flame. It's also going to get a
buff from the Art of War. So it's coming in for
3, which is nice. And then they're going to finish up with
another Phoenix Flame.
So Clue must have drawn into a Phoenix Flame from the Art of War.
Yeah. Sorry,
I get the buff from the Shuko.
I think I mistook the Blaze Headlong for a Mounting Anger. That's a nice turn. No
19
Arsenal.
damage. 19 damage.
No Arsenal, which is a bit of a shame.
And he
Had
gets
to
to
pitch
finish
the
with
Art
a
of War.
cheeky Kodachi at the end there for 1.
All the damage counts. I mean, we are now almost level. Joel has a couple of cards left. It'd be interesting to see if he managed to get another dragon out. But again, as we've said, I think this is just giving George extra targets for his mass triggers.
It depends, yeah. Like, I think it depends on the dragon that Joel might be able to develop here. It is color is pretty good. It does have the blue there. So this is the dragon. If it hits, it will draw a card. George is going to let this hit, go down to 22. One arcane from the Burn Them All for the first dragon attack this turn. I'm going to see the third Azulai developed. A really good hit off the top there. I'm just going to push a bit more damage at George, taking him down to 18.
I don't think he's concerned.
No, he's happy. And also, these are some good targets for him to attack into. They're quite low health dragons, which means that they're really easy for him to pick off with his low power cards. At the moment, he might even be able to kill off the Caloria, maybe with a buffed Phoenix Flame off Shuko, for example, which would be just a really good.
Yeah, Azulai, I believe, has 3 health and Caloria has 2.
The other thing you might be able to do is just sort of Kodachi into the Caloria or the Azulai, and then present a really big attack that's really difficult to be blocked, so that he can get a mask trigger. I think that's actually what he's going to do. Yeah, exactly. Good decision. So now he's on Chain Link 2, having hit. This next attack is presenting a draw from Mask of Momentum. And he's just going to, go into the dragons, guarantee
easy
that choice. Draw.
Get rid of the dragons and get your card back.
He's still got 3 cards and he's cleared the field of dragons.
We've got some big cards here. So Ravenous Rabble is going to come in with Go Again, and then he's got a choice of either Lava Burst or Snatch. And I can see him actually playing the Snaps.
Does hit the blue
2
off the top with the Rabble?
I can see him playing Lava Burst here for 6, and then arsenaling the Snatch, because he's not going to want to draw the Soul Bead blue anyway to put in Arsenal. That's good knowledge to have. Don't forget, we can also no, he's not gonna be able to get a Phoenix Flame back this turn. He's not got enough Draconic Chain Links. But that is coming in for 5. Nice
play off a yellow there, just using the yellow for the Kodachis and then 0/0/0. Again, pushing a lot of damage here. Maybe not quite as much damage as he wanted.
Missing
Rebel
missing
coming-
two. Yeah,
Rebel
missing
coming
two
for rather
damage
than 4
really.
by hitting the blue. George does know that he will be drawing into a blue next turn, so probably knows he's going to be able to make something happen there.
And I think George knows he runs a couple more blues in this deck for the Kodachis. So it's not unexpected, but it is less probable to hit that blue off the Rabble. But we know we've got a Snatch in Arsenal, a nice chain finisher. It's a good one to use the snaps on for Fi, the snaps on Snatch.
Annoyingly, does draw in, so it seems to be quite a few blues, but going to play the Mage Master Boots out, going to be giving a non-attack go again.
Are we looking at a
Drops
passing
the cards on the
Mirage?
floor, unfortunately. Probably a Tome.
There you
Yeah,
go.
it is a Tome.
Bit of life gain as
Gonna
well.
heal some cards, heal some health and draw some cards here.
Up to 26. And a 4-card hand.
Saw a Vincerikai in hand. Might choose to push that out just because it does present so much damage. Obviously, George is going to be able to pick off that Vincerikai very easily with a Kodachi, but if he doesn't
It
block
still
it, he's going to
presents
take
6
9.
to 9 damage, yeah.
Also makes a lot of Ash if he's got 3 reds. No, choose to go for the Chroma. Draw might be incredibly aggressive, and it's working out. George is going low. Making another Ash here.
Making 3 resources off the Furnace.
Yeah, and then
to
being
play
able
the
to play
Vincerikai.
Vincerikai. Yeah, beautiful play there. This is going to be rough. This is presenting 9 damage. If this hits, it's coming in for 6, and if it hits, it deals 3 arcane. And the only upside is George has got a pretty mid hand, so I think we are going to see a block.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is an
Lovely
interesting
LSS
play.
stats, Lava Vein Loyalty there. And George Rogers probably going to try and reset this board state. I know he can just Kodachi into that Vincerikai and kill that off, and probably.
But lucky that George had the
Mirage as
2 Lava Vein loyalties there, or a Lava Vein and a Soul Bead Strike there. They're the good 3 blocks in this deck.
Yeah, and it looks like he drew into a hand of all of 3 blues. So kind of a good time for Joel, as good a time as any for Joel to attack with some big
3
beefy
blues
cards.
and a yellow. We've got Salt the Wound, which is obviously going to do some damage because we're going to hit twice with the Kodachis.
Yeah, but I think we're probably going to need to kill off the Chromai.
So we're going to hit with this middle Kodachi for 1, and then a Snatch.
But no, just going to go straight to the face. Is going to give it go again though. Making stuff happen here.
Oh, he's hit automatically because he's taken the Chromai.
Oh, this is kind of shift the tempo here quite a lot. Annoyingly, Rise would break the chain for.
We've drawn the card off of the Snatch and the Mask.
Drawed another blue. George has had 4 blues.
This Salt the Wound could come in for a decent chunk now, Dan.
Yeah, definitely. Joel got a good, healthy life lead though.
I think it would be prudent for him. If he's got a hand, he should probably keep this. We're not looking at big damage right now.
And this is going to have a Shiko trigger
For
on
8,
it.
I think.
It's going to be a big chunk of change coming in for 7.
Interesting. 2, yes.
yeah.
He's hit 4 times. Add to the 2, add to the Shuko. Got 7.
And the Rise just going to stick that in the arsenal. Obviously can't play the Rise without breaking the combat chain, which would then basically make Salt come in for 2. So just going to save that for the next turn. So George has used his snaps, but he's used it on Snatch. Like, what else would you really use it for? Good use of snaps there. We are actually seeing quite a few blocks from Joel. So he took a bunch of damage. Decided not to block the Snatch with the Sync earlier.
The Snatch was at the Chromai, so it was an automatic hit.
Okay, thank you, Simon. Yeah, I missed that. So George just resetting the board, which is nice. Going to see what Joel can swing back. Looks like they've got a CNC in hand, so probably just going to threaten that arsenal. See what George wants to do about that.
Another Kyloria.
George
Threatening the card draw.
George... Oh, that CNC would have been really good here because it looks like George actually wouldn't have had a red card to turn on his go again, Blaze Headlong. But actually, this has kind of saved him a bit because now he will be able to play the Rise to give everything go again instead. So, of course, the Drummer player not having the resources to play CNC, but CNC there would have been incredibly good. Didn't pan out that way though, and we're just going to see it go back to George, going to play out the Rise, get the Phoenix Flame. Playing that red card, Simon, is so important, and we see it here for Blaze, because without that, George wouldn't have actually had a go again.
But unfortunately, Joel had used the blue, the passing Mirage, to actually block out some of the lava burst. I'm not sure whether that was the right play at the time. It was just damage. But Joel trying to maintain a life lead here. I think there will come a point where Fi's consistency will outstrip the ability of Dramai to defend.
Yeah. We do see a block here. I imagine we'll see a follow-up with that.
Got some sink belows in hand.
Yeah.
We've got 2 sinks in hand.
Good blocking hand here for the Dromai. Going to see a couple of Kodachis.
I think Joel is happy for this chip damage to come through.
I think Joel needs to not be happy, though, because if both these Kodachis come through and then he attacks that dragon...
Correct.
That's going to be a card draw. Yeah, Phoenix Flame into the getting into the dragon there. It must have been Kodachi into dragon, Phoenix
and then
into
Phoenix
dragon,
Flame, yeah.
And then Brand going to come in for 3. 2 cards already committed by Joel for blocking.
And then Fi's going to be able to go and get another Phoenix Flame.
Yeah, still haven't. George still hasn't used Fi's ability this turn. He is now on Draconic Chain Link 3, so that will be a free Phoenix Flame if he wants it.
So this Phoenix Flame will be coming in for 2 with the Shuko.
It's a long old line. Just 5 things, eh?
Joel really thinking about where he wants to use these cards. He's got an E-Strike in hand.
Wants to swing back with something. Doesn't want to let... He can't just let Fi keep in with big cards. He needs to get Fi down to the point...
And then a Snatch.
Great Snatch at the end. He needs to get Fi down to the point where Fi has to block with cards. Otherwise, Fi is just going to 4-card, 5-card hand him every single turn. He's going to lose that game every time.
I think he has to single block this with the sink below.
But he wants to E-Strike.
He does want to E-Strike, but giving Fi an Arsenal for next turn is not going to be useful.
It's just a bad situation for Drumai. You want to present some damage back to get that 5-player down so you can actually start to present lethal damage of your own and force card blocks. But at the same time, you don't want to let Fi draw off this Snatch and do the exact same thing to you next turn.
I'd be interested to see what is in Arsenal for Drumai, and whether Joel can actually attempt to sink that card.
We do see the sink come down.
If he needs more resources, he can take a chance, because he can't play that on its own. So we've had a fantastic day so far. This is round 5 of 5 for Swiss this morning, round 12 in total. And we have had some fantastic games on the stream with a variety of heroes. Azuri, Bravo, now we've got Fi and Dromai. We saw a Dromai versus Azalea earlier today, which went the way of the Azalea. We have really enjoyed this, and we've got a cracking top 8 to come.
This is a big game. This is a win and in. This is the difference between getting into that top 8 and not getting in.
That
PTI,
gold
that
foil
gold foil
legendary.
1 of 40 of each kind of legendary. Oh, and George has to pop. He's probably got 3 in the deck. Yunderai isn't as difficult to take down for a ninja with Kodachis as other heroes, because you can just Kodachi it once to get rid of the prevention and then hit it for 3. But it's just going to be popped there. And a lovely Mounting Anger coming in here. Mounting Anger hits, George can banish the 0 cost, give it +1. So it is a relevant hit effect here.
It is, but at the same time, it's just damage. I mean, it's just an extra 1 damage.
It's just an extra 1. How often is an extra 1 damage make a difference?
I know. But as you say, I think Joel wants to keep pushing some damage. He's not managing to do it so far. There's an interesting card in hand there, the Dominia.
Yeah,
He hasn't got the resources to
it's
play
going to have
that.
to be a blocking turn here. George also thinking maybe if I put a relevant on hit on the first attack, they can then
Yeah.
go Kodachi, and maybe I'll get a draw off the last attack. And that's exactly it. Going to come in for 4 and go again. A really awkward break point for Dramai. And this is going to draw if it hits. So excellent play there from George. Forcing, well, not forcing, but incentivizing the block on the first chain
the
link.
block.
So then George can achieve that card draw by going Kodachi 4. Joel is playing really well and as the right level of aggression to try and get George down, but kind of sort of seemed to stall a little bit at one point where George sort of just took control. He forced a 2-card block from Fi.
Fi does a lot of damage.
When when George didn't really have a good hand to attack with
yeah.
anyway, so it kind of sort of gave George a bit of an out. Good value for some cards that otherwise would have been not particularly good value for him.
I mean, this is what Fi does. Fi makes value plays using cheap cards for 3 or 4, and they force the break points. They want to make you think about the blocks. That would have given a card draw off the mask.
Yeah, George getting that, forcing that furnace to be blocked by Joel there, really impactful. Wants him to get rid of that equipment, and then Fi can really have a field day with Mask of Momentum and Kodachi's once all that equipment is gone. George just playing 4-card hands, and Dromai is going to really struggle against this.
And Bran with Cinderclaw is really useful at the beginning of the chain. It allows you to make a Kodachi into a Draconic Chain Link, which obviously helps Fi out for his hero ability.
It's the last round of Swiss, everybody. This is all the marbles. Well, not all the marbles. That'll be later, but a lot of the marbles to get into that top 8. This Kodachi now Draconic, meaning that George only 1 cost at the moment to fetch that Phoenix Flame.
And let's not forget, George has gone undefeated so far today. He was 5-2 at the end of day 1 into day 2, and he has gone undefeated so far. If he manages to win this, he will likely be in the top 8.
I see a Salt the Wound in hand, and I see a lot of cards hitting. This is going to be a big one if George can get another hit through with that Rising Resentment in hand. That Salt the Wound is going to be massive, getting the Shuko trigger as well.
This is a mask
Joel
trigger.
is still considering a block here.
Whether he blocks with the
really awkward
flame
block
scale
there, isn't it?
furnace.
Yeah, Phoenix for 1. Really awkward block. You know you're safe from things like Ancestral Empowerment. Phoenix Flame is a Draconic card, not a Ninja card. There's not really that many ways for George to buff this. Maybe an Art of War, but a sneaky Art of War. But I think Joel will just...
I don't think he wants to get rid of the flame scale this point.
No.
But again, it could be that is the thing that allows him to come back with some tempo.
This is a big turn for Dramai.
It does stop the mask trigger.
It's a big decision.
George can threaten another mask trigger. That's the 3rd Draconic Chain Link. So
George is going to reset.
we are seeing a rising for 3.
This is Draconic Chain Link 4, so actually kind of relevant. Joel needs to think about this because could potentially allow George to do something crazy. Probably not going to be relevant. Probably going to let this come through. Yeah, just counting up the chain links. It is 4 because of the Bran with Cinderclaw making that Kodachi Draconic. We've had 2 hits, so far. And
If
we
that
know
is
there's
Assault the
Assault in
Wound,
hand. Yeah.
then
There's another Kodachi going to come
makes it a
after this.
5.
That Salt would draw if this hits and the next Kodachi hits. Can maybe see Joel throwing 1 card in front of this, but no, he's going to take it. And this is music to George's ears.
Absolutely.
Because no, if he's not blocking that, there's no way he's blocking this Kodachi.
And we're looking at not quite lethal. Actually, that'll be
1,
4
2,
that's
3,
hit.
4.
So this will come in for 7. Be left on 1 life.
Boom. And you see it in the face of Joel there. The 1 card he didn't want to see at the end of that chain.
So it's not lethal, but unless Joel can offer lethal this turn,
And with George Rogers,
and with being on, if you go down to 1 against Kodachi's, you're not in a good place.
yeah, if Joel can't reduce George from 14, a big ass, to 0 in the next turn, George is just going to take control with the Kodachis. So it's going down to 1. It seems incredibly risky.
We know there's a sigil in Arsenal, though. And that can be used to give dragons go again.
But where are the dragons, Simon?
I don't see many.
Where are the dragons? There's none on the field. George has been eating them up. Turns out dragons very weak to tiny little daggers.
Yeah, apparently they don't like them. I think George is pretty happy right now.
Stabby, stabby indeed. And it does draw a card block. Joel not willing to go down to 1.
He's
What is
gonna
he willing to
pitch.
go down to? Yeah, going to use it.
Get some life gain. Block
Block
all
this
7.
out, go up to 9. But only going to leave himself with 2 cards for his next turn. Oh, he's messed up. Shuko. Oasis into Shuko.
Ouch. Can't be prevented.
That is a disaster.
Can't be prevented.
Shuko.
Mask
And that mask
trigger.
is going to trigger. George is going to draw. He's only blocking. The number of times.
Oh,
A great
dear.
card off the top for George as well.
Shuko coming in clutch. What a mistake.
We've seen it before,
in
Simon,
the
on some of the
final
games
round.
we casted on Push the Point. That exact same thing happened in the final of one of our Road to National tournaments. Is forgetting about that incredibly important part of Shuko. Damage cannot be prevented. And what does Oasis Respite do?
George is hiding his smile quite well right now.
Attempt to prevent damage. This is tough. It's round 12
It
of
is a tiring
day 2
event.
of the Calling Birmingham. It can be difficult to keep track of these things, difficult to remember these things, but I can't see it. Losing an Oasis like that,
Yeah.
absolutely huge. Allowing George to draw into a really impactful card and get that into the arsenal. I can't see it going any other way now. And here we see it coming in with a Flame Call Awakening. Hasn't played a red card, so won't do a search.
But also, I don't think there's any Phoenixes left in the deck. I think
I don't know how many George runs.
I
but
think they're all in the graveyard right now. That is a gut punch, isn't it? I mean,
that's what Shuko's for.
that is an absolute gut punch. And if you were Joel sitting there, the advice would always be just short-term memory, forget, move on. But that's a really hard thing to come back from in your win and in.
Absolutely.
So 3, followed by 3, drawing the blocks. We know that he can. We know that the Kodachis are still on the table, but we haven't pitched a blue.
George just trying to get to Chain Link 4 here so he can play that Lava Burst from the Arsenal. Might pitch here to make a Phoenix Flame, costing 1, and then come in with a Lava Burst. No, he's got the go again.
Double
already.
strike as well. George, the only 5 player to make it to day 2.
Yeah, that is going to be, and he's probably going to be the only 5 player to make the top 8, Simon, because this double strike is going to come in for 1 and 1. He's going to follow up. Well, it's going to come in for 1 and 2, sorry, with a Shuko. Come in for 5 with that Lava Burst from the Arsenal. I'm not sure Joel's going to be able to cover this. If he commits a card here, he's only got 2 cards left to block with. If he doesn't, he goes down to 1. Blocks the next one. 2 cards left. Maybe he can cover it. Leaving himself
And this
with
Lava
no
Burst
cards
is coming in for
hand.
6 out of Arsenal because of the Shuko.
Simon, you saying you thought maybe he might have a sigil in Arsenal? So
I
maybe he might
think
be able
Joel's
to play
got a
that
sigil in Arsenal. Sorry, the Tiger Strike will probably affect on the next double strike. So that will be for 2, and then the Lava Burst for 5. I don't think he can cover this one.
Chooses to block the 1.
I think it's coming in for 2
Double
next.
strike now coming in for 2.
That wasn't a mask trigger either.
Nope. This one is
This one
not.
is.
This one is not, because it has been, the chain has been broken, but
he's
this is a
broken,
Shuko trigger.
he's
Not
broken
breaking the chain, but,
Chromai.
and then Lava Burst coming in for 5 at the end. Joel got 2 cards to block with. If he blocks with 1, he's probably dead, unless he's got a defense
I think the
reaction.
sigil would keep him alive, but
If he's got that sigil.
the E-strike is still...
But the trouble is now, is he wants to keep this E-strike so he can come back and do something, but he can't sigil and live with this 5 attack coming on when he's sitting on 2.
And an E-strike's not going to threaten lethal, so George just takes it anyway.
Yep. George still sitting on 4 equipment block. George basically on 15 health here. That Oasis respite absolutely massive. Joel would be on how much more life? 5 more life? 4 and a heal?
4 more heal, yeah.
Absolutely devastating.
Oh, he's still got the heal.
And
but he didn't get.
And
he
the,
didn't stop the 4 life.
And the Oasis.
And the lava burst was the master draw.
Enabled the lava burst into Arsenal. So Fine, complete control of this game. Can Joel do anything here?
I think he's just double blocks.
Double blocks.
Yeah.
Lost in thought. Great card against Fi, but not able to play him out.
He's blocked with 2 on that one turn.
George Rogers happy. George Roger on his way to the top 8 of the Calling Birmingham UK national champion, taking Fi, a hero that no one really expected to be getting to the top 8 of this tournament.
He's dodged the Icelanders. He's dodged the Lexis.
He's played his arse off today, I'll tell you that.
Oh, and a Spreading Flames coming out. I think that's good night.
Depends. It's sometimes hard to get this to work.
If he has a brand with
Cinder
Cinder Claw,
he's got the brands.
Then the Kadachi's come in for 2.
But he needs to go up. He needs to go over, doesn't he? He needs to get to 4s. He needs to get to where he needs to be.
But he's going to have too many attacks. Oh, he's pitching out a war, though, so Kadachis don't get go again.
Yep. Don't make the mistake, George. I've seen people do it.
But we're looking at Brand and then Rabble and then Phoenix Flame. And then whatever's in Arsenal.
He's not going to do it, is he? Make sure you do it the right order, George. This is presenting lethal. Joel's got to do something about it.
So
plays the switch line.
We've gone up to 5. He's going to take the 3.
Basically blocking this card with a...
We have a 4-card hand still, so he can still block. Oh, it's a Phoenix Flame in Arsenal.
That's going to come in for 2. Plus 1 from the Spreading Flame.
And primes that Tiger Stripe Shuko for later on in his turn when he wants to activate Phi and get another Phoenix Flame. I don't see how Joel can block this all out. We've got no equipment left. We've got a hand with another Lost in Thought 2 block. We're going to come in now. I would have thought with the brand.
He's going to 2 cards, and he's probably going to. He's going to and then fetch the Phoenix Flame, and then come in the Kadachi for lethal. Or the Phoenix Flame. The Phoenix Flame is going to be lethal with the Shuko going up to 2.
Exactly. The Rabble comes in next. If it's a red on top, it's lethal.
Even if it's a blue.
There's too many chain links.
Yeah. Even if he hits a blue here, he's safe. This demands a 3 block. Maybe a 2 going down to 1. I don't see it. Next card comes in for 2. He's going to have to block it. Then the Phoenix Flame comes in, getting that Shuko trigger, coming in for 2, coming in for 3, in fact, with the Spreading Flames.
So blocking all 3.
I don't see a way out here for Dramai.
Coming up with a Phoenix Flame for 3.
+1 from Spreading, +1 from Shuko.
Correct.
1 card left in hand. We know it's got go again. 1 Kadachi. We know they can swing it.
This has been a really patient game from George. He's just taken the opportunities that have been available to him.
He's just played the best lines, I think. What
he knows his deck inside out. This is just an evolving deck from his Nationals win last year.
Took a lot of damage, but then came back. Hits the red off the top. That's
done.
What she wrote, everybody.
He goes down to 1 and then...
Can't play the Oasis. And that's game.
George is likely in the top 8. I think that should be it.
What a fantastic game, Simon. We did say there was 5 favoured, but that Dramai player was putting in damage, doing what they needed to do, trying to get there, trying to get that 5 low enough so they could start stripping cards, but they just sort of stalled. They had a really big turn when they got the Vincerakai out, but George had a hand that he didn't even want to attack with, and being able to just use those bad cards, using the fact that he had 2 blues to block out some big damage was really big, and really big.
I think, like you say, there was a turn potentially could have kept enough resources to pitch for the CNC, Didn't manage to do that. It would have been a really good threat to the Arsenal.
That's the trouble with Dramais. When your cards are all red,
Yeah.
pitching with that CNC is so tough. And George was so lucky because that one card in the Arsenal was the only card he had to enable the go again on that turn to get the red card out so the Blaze Headlong will get go again. But didn't get that CNC out.
Yeah.
Gave George the breathing room, and as soon as he got that breathing room, it was just turn after turn of 4 or 5 card hands every single turn, pushing so much damage that Dramai just couldn't keep up with it.
I mean, what can you say? What a fantastic game to finish the Swiss rounds on. Sad to see it come down to the Oasis Respite, but to be honest, I don't think that would have been any other result. Seeing the tempo move to Fi like that. It maybe accelerated
we
the
can't
process.
discount the impact it had on the game and the impact it probably has on your the way you're feeling about the game when something like that happens. But that's what Chico does. That's what you got to get in your head. That Oasis Respite, it seems like the perfect answer, but it was the worst possible answer at that moment in the game.
At that moment in time, absolutely. We're going to pass back to the studio. We're going to have a bit of a break now with some more of our interview with James White to look forward to.
Just before we pass off, I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone. That was our last round of Swiss.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much to everybody who's watched the Swiss rounds. We'll obviously come back to you with the top 8 very soon. It's going to be incredible. You're going to see the best players of Flesh and Blood fighting each other out for a chance of being crowned the Calling UK champion. We're going to be there throughout it. We're going to be talking through the games. Baz is going to be interviewing everybody. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for staying in the chat. I hope you stay around. We'll probably be a short break while we sort all of that out, but I hope you stick with us. We've got some great content to show you. And thanks for tuning in to see us push the point, Baz the Bard, and Tabletop 24
We'll
on
see
this
you back
lovely
for a top
Sunday
8
in
announcement
the UK.
very shortly.
Thank you very much.
Hi, welcome back to the Calling in Birmingham. That was the last of the rounds. That was a winning in. National Champion 2022 for the UK. We're in the lap of the gods.
Thank you very much.
Oh my God, that was so nail biting. You had so we saw Jamie Faulkner play.
Yeah.
Dromai, and he lost, and then you got
I
Jamie,
got paired into Jamie, yeah.
and then I saw you, and you were just like, oh,
It's like really happy and really sad. So really happy because obviously Jamie is one of my testing partners, so we know how the matchup goes, and it's really unfortunate to knock him out that way.
But you knocked him out in the UK Nationals as well.
Oh yeah. Doing the exact same thing with Fi. Yeah.
You played Five for so long. I used to play you week in, week out when you came to Manusprint.
Yeah.
So I know that deck quite well. I've got to bring the mic forward. I'm sorry that people can't hear that. I got quite emotional when you won the Nationals.
Yeah, I was in disbelief then. I mean, I'm still in a bit of shock now that I've made top 8. I just didn't expect it to happen. I nearly spent today just playing games on the PS5 at home because I thought I can't go 5-0, you know. But then one of the guys that I drive up with, he forgot his promotional cards, so I thought, well, I might as well see if I could make it.
Yeah, indeed.
So we came in and it's worked out quite well.
Yeah, you didn't face any Dromai. There's loads of Dromai.
Yeah, no Dromais. So this would be my second event. And it would have been 2 events with 1 Dromai in total. And last time that was 13 rounds and I had 1 Dromai. It's one of the most popular decks, so you'd hope to see it a bit more. The flip side is I also see very little Lexi, so I haven't seen much Lexi either.
Okay.
I played today. I had amazing matchups all day, so I really can't complain about my matchups today.
Yeah. The thing is, sometimes you got to ride your luck.
Yeah.
And if she's on your side, you just got to take it. And you go,
Well,
okay.
my good matchups are the other 2 of the big popular decks was Bravo and Dromai. I saw Bravo and Dromai. It was brilliant. Yeah, I was really happy.
So Fi's not that popular. You know, he's kind of sliding down the popularity stakes. Why did you stick with him, even though, you know, in the UK we know you as Mr. Fi?
So people who know me know that I play this game a lot, and I test really thoroughly. And I think when the Belittle ban happened, people just discredited Fi as a real deck. It doesn't happen anymore. He hasn't got the insane rates anymore. But and to be fair, I agreed with him for the most part. I wasn't testing Fi for this event until last week. We were testing Bravo because it does look amazing at the moment. And then you just start playing these matches. Like, well, we'll try Fi. And oh yeah, it's got a really great Fi Bravo matchup. We know that. It's got a great Dromai matchup. We know that. And then we played the Lexi matchup in testing for prep for this event. I went 17-3 into Lexi. So I was like, if the Lexi matchup's not that bad anymore, maybe Fi's just a good choice. So I played it more, got more confirmation of what I believed, is that Fi is actually pretty good right now with Kodachis. So I just went with it.
So your testing group's pretty good. You said Jamie Faulkner, you've got Jacob Clements.
Yeah, there's like a big Discord as well where we play. Because quite a few people I play with who are really good, like Matt as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like good players I play against. So it's not just me, just playing lower level players and just thrashing them all the time. It's people that are skilled.
Yeah, nice, brilliant. I am going to be over the moon if you make it into the top 8, mate.
Oh yeah, I'm fingers crossed. I think there's a world I can't, but
yeah, but
there's more worlds that I do.
the thing is, you put yourself in the position to get there, and
Yeah,
that's the best you can do.
Exactly.
Now it's up to everybody else, everybody else's performances to see if they can make it in.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this weekend. I don't think I've made any mistakes today. I made some mistakes yesterday, but they were mistakes that didn't cost me games. I was losing those games already, and I think that's what happened.
You did. When I saw you yesterday, you were kind of like you were a little bit down, and
the last game was I made a silly mistake, and it didn't cost me the game because I felt like I'd already lost, but it like confirmed the loss, So that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to play really tight today, and it's paid off.
Yeah. That Jules, when he played that Oasis Respite on
Well,
that one.
I was talking to him. I'd already said I assumed it was a fate for scene because we'd already talked about Oasis. About how like you can't tilt on a Shuko, so we already knew about that. And then he played the Oasis, and oh no.
Thing is, you put him under so much pressure. He started off really well.
I was really behind.
Yeah,
I was like really behind.
When you came into the streaming, area, you were like, "Yeah, I've got Dromai." He got off to a blistering start. He built up his board of dragons, and I was like, "You're in trouble."
Yeah.
And you managed to fight your way out the weeds.
Yeah.
And get back. And there was one point where you got to health parity, and you went, "That's taken me a while." That's taken me a really
usually
long time.
it takes me a couple of turns to get to the how I always fall behind at the start against drone mines. That's how the matchup plays.
Yeah.
But then you just start taking advantage and advantage and advantage, and you just end up just completely taking over the game. And it did end up that way. Still, I just accepted my bad. I drew a lot of bad hands to start the game. The double out of war turn didn't pay off, unfortunately.
Yeah, you said you were after a blue.
Yeah, a blue would have made that turn insane.
But you can't have that many blues in your deck, so.
And then he's on the next hand. The next hand was assault and 3 blues. There they were.
You didn't get too salty.
Yeah, it was all right.
Nice. You're playing amazing.
Thank you
I wish
very
you the
much.
very best of luck, mate.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. We'll be back soon with the top 8. Alan's going to be working his magic. We've got something very special for the top 8 reveal. I really hope we get the time to do it. Okay, stay tuned.